All right, welcome to chapter 11, section 1, called Circles and Circumference. So a couple things to go over just for the front screen here. You'll see a due date. I don't see it on my teacher preview, but you will see it in your student screen. We always have unlimited attempts on homework, tests, and quizzes. Number of questions just tells you how many are on this particular assignment. Grading policy is always best score, so whichever attempt is the best one is one you keep. Partial credit is always enabled, so if you answer 1 of 3 questions correctly, get credit for the one question, or if there's multiple questions within one question, you can get partial credit for that one. So down here it says, please remember once you start your homework, you must finish it before you can work on anything else. That means once I click start, down here in the bottom right corner, I will see the submit assignment button. That is how we finish an assignment. Always, always, always click submit assignment when you want to leave this screen. And what it means by you can't work on anything else is while this is open, Alex, the program, is going to lock all of your assignments and even your resources because it's trying to leave this attempt open for you because some centers, or not centers, but some schools don't give you unlimited attempts, and we do. So it doesn't matter how many times you click submit assignment. Click it as many times as you would like. You can just keep coming in and trying over and over again. It's going to save your progress, so if you've answered some of the questions and you click check and you have your green check mark or even like an orange for partial, it's going to know that. It's going to bring you back to that problem and let you finish. Or it's going to just keep moving you forward. So, huge reason to click submit assignment so you don't get frozen out of all of your other assignments and resources. The other big reason is so that it affects the gradebook. So you can see your progress in the gradebook and your teacher can see your progress. Until you click that button, your account is just basically frozen. All right, so over here we have explanation, example, and message center. Explanation tells you you're going to lose your current question attempt because it's literally going to give you the answer or solution to this question. So it's not going to give you the answer and then let you come type it in. Example will give you something very similar. So in just a minute, you can see a circle over here. We're going to go over diameter, radius, and chord so that we can kind of just review, how to do these things. And then there's a small little calculation that they want us to do as well. So once you go through and you know these definitions and you can go through and complete this problem, you can close this, you can click example again if you would like to see another one, or you can message your teacher directly from this screen. It'll attach a picture so we know where to come help you. I don't know if you can hear it in the video, but if you can, that's my dog barking at the mailman in the background. All right, so for the first couple pieces, we just need to go through and, what are the definitions of these pieces. So radius, and I'm going to do my best here to kind of click right there in the middle. So if we have the center piece here, a radius goes from the center to the side. So, and I can do that, and actually, can I bring down the marker size just so that it's not quite so intimidating there. So we have a radius. I can do this as many times as I want. There is an infinite number of radii, and they are all the same length. So this is called a radius. It goes from the center of the circle to the side of the circle. And then we have what's called a diameter. So let's put that guy in, I guess, pink. Why not? And I'm going to do my best to get this guy through. So this one goes from side to side through the center. So it's touching side to side, but it has to go through the center. And again, there's an infinite number of diameters that I can draw. You can just keep drawing these guys. So the pink one, these are called diameters. So if we notice, there's a relationship here between radii and diameter. So if I'm looking at the diameter, it's going across. But remember, a radii goes from center to side. Well, so does a diameter. It just does it in both directions. So these are also radii, which means that every diameter is 2 radii. So this is one of those relationships we do want to make sure we're paying attention to, because sometimes they'll give us a radius, sometimes they'll give us a diameter. We have to kind of go back and forth with that. To name them, make sure you're using the endpoints. So for a radius, you're going to use the center and the side. For a diameter, you're going to use the side and the side all the way, okay? You don't use the center for that one. I mean, theoretically you could, but I would use side to side because you're just naming a segment there. Just to kind of keep it so you understand that it's from the side of the circle to the other side of the circle. Then we have what's called a chord. I guess I'll do this guy in yellow. So a chord does not go through the center, but it connects from side to side. something like that. So it touches two sides of the circle, or goes from side to side of the circle, but not through the center. So I can even go very close to the center. That's still a chord. Okay, so these are called chords. All right, so now that we have kind of the basic definitions there of what they do, we can go through and we can start to do this. So name a radius of this circle. So I have the center, the only radius, well, not the only one. I could do FE or I could do FG. But in this one, I'm pretty darn sure they're going to want me to go with FE. A diameter, so again, going through the center, and I want the entire thing, so it would be FG, or HG, sorry, HG, just to do end to end. Name a chord, so the only chord they give us here is DI. Technically, the diameter is a chord, but it's a special chord called a diameter, so they don't want that one. So if the length of FE is 4, so this radii is 4, what is the length of GH? So remember, all radii are the same. That's what a circle is. It's all the points are the same distance from the center. That's how we do a circle. All of them the same distance away. So all radii are going to be the same length because it's all the same distance away. So that means that if this is 4, then FG is 4, and FH is also 4. So I have 4 plus 4 gives me 8. So just applying kind of the basic rule there, that a radius is half a diameter, or a diameter is 2 of the radii. Okay, so let's look at the next one. So the radius of a circle measures 13 yards. What is the circumference of the circle? Use 3.14 for pi and do not round your answer. Be sure to include the correct unit in your answer. So if we're looking for circumference, that is a length. If we think of this as like a bike tire, basically what I'm asking is if I started rolling forward, how far would I go on the pavement around? How far would I go forward before this spot was back down on the ground again? If I could roll that tire forward. That's what a circumference is. I just want to know how far is it around the circle. So another name for that is perimeter, but we call it circumference on a circle. Okay, so the circumference of a circle, we have two different formulas. Sorry, totally lost my words there for a minute. So we have C equals 2. I'm going to change my color, so I forgot I still had that color open. So C equals 2 pi r, so 2 times pi times r, or C equals pi times d, because remember 2r is equal to d. We wrote that right there. Instead of saying 2 and r, even though they're separated here, it's all multiplication, so they still are being multiplied together. 2r is the same as d, as the diameter. Okay, so it just depends on which one they give you. I've seen this one give you radius. I've seen this one give you diameter. So just, make sure you're paying attention to which one they give you. They're giving us radius here, so I'm going to use this guy. So I'm going to have C equals 2 times, instead of pi, they're asking me to use 3.14, and then the radius is 13. That looks like 73, 13. They did give us a calculator here because we have a decimal, so they're being nice there. Times 13. And so I get 81.64. I can just copy this right over here. Oh, maybe I can't. Copy. Oh, there we go. Okay, didn't want to do it. So it says do not round your answer. So do not round it, but make sure you do the correct unit. If I click check right now, it would warn me. We can even see. You may need to make sure you use the correct symbol because I haven't checked anything. Since it's just a length, it's just yards. It's 81.64 yards all the way around. So this is definitely not a bike tire. That would be quite a large bike tire. Even 13 yards, if we were thinking about that, I should have picked something a little bit more, logical, because it would definitely not be a 13-yard bike tire. That's kind of crazy. But this is just the length around the outside, so it's just yards. Squared is for area, and cubed is for volume if we're looking at a sphere. Let's do one more of these guys. So the circumference of a circular painting is 62.8 feet. What is the radius of the painting? So same thing. We're going to use this formula, but we're going to kind of use it a little backwards. So I'm given the circumference now, and I'm being asked what the radius is. I still want to use 3.14 for pi. So now I'm going to use this equation again because they're giving me radius, or they're asking me to find radius. But instead of c, I know it's 62.8, and that's going to equal 2 times pi times radius. I don't know my radius now. So I can take this and I can go 2 times 3.14. You could probably do that without a calculator there, but that's okay. So I have 62.8 equals 6.28. You can definitely see that these numbers are very similar here. Hopefully we can see that pattern. 62.8 and 6.28. So now I'm going to divide both sides by 6.28 because I want to undo the multiplication. Just trying to solve for r here. So hopefully some of us can kind of see where this is going. Oops. Help if I typed in the whole number. I had 6.2. 62.8 divided by 6.28, we should get 10 because we just moved the decimal over, right? So 10 equals r. So our radius for this painting is 10 feet. All right, so that was section 1. I will see you in section 2.